everyone, welcome to Wilkes Now. I'm Brianna Ebish.
And I'm Jerome Hannon. Happy Leif Erikson Day, everyone. For those of you who don't know, Leif Erikson was the first European to ever find North America.
And it's finally fall, although it doesn't really feel like it with how humid it is outside today.
Agreed. It's a little warm today, but those of you who hate the heat, Thursday is gonna drop the temperature down 20 degrees after some storms. It's gonna be rough.
The Neurotraining and Research Center, also known as NCRC, in Bryce's 214 is open for this semester. Would you like to experience more calmness in your life and deal with stress and anxiety more successfully? Would you like to have better focus, concentration, and decision-making in the classroom or on the athletic field? Come to the NCRC. We may be able to help you achieve these goals. It is increasingly important that students take their mental health seriously. The American Psychological Association states that 70% of on-campus counselors believe that the number of students with severe psychological problems on their campus has increased. Anxiety is the top presenting concern among college students at around 41.6%, followed by depression at an estimated 36.4% of students. Taking control of your stress levels and reaching out when you feel overwhelmed is a great way to combat this. If you are in need of extra counseling, free help is available on the first floor of Paston Hall. Also, let's try and change these statistics in college environments. Now, let's check in with Cabrini in the Beacon office for our weekly Beacon Brief.
Hey Brianna, welcome to the Beacon Briefs. I'm Cabrini Renicki, the co-news editor for the Beacon here at Wilkes. Here's what's going on. Sardarni Art Gallery held its final lunchtime lecture for its exhibit, A Stirring Song Sung Heroic, African Americans from Slavery to Freedom. The lecture, titled Anti-Slavery Actions in the Wyoming Valley, was presented by Dr. Amy Newell. The lecture focused on the history of slavery in the Wyoming Valley. The next exhibit, Loud Silence, Expressions of Activism, begins October 23rd until December 16th. The Accelerated Bachelor of Science in Nursing class of 2019 received their white coats and signed the Code of Ethics at the 2018 Professional Induction Ceremony. At the event, which took place on Sunday at the Dorothy Dixon Dart Center, 35 students entered a new stage of their nursing career. Guest speaker included Ashley Bernardi of the class of 2018. The winner of the James Jones First Novel Fellowship of 2018 was announced recently. Alicia Upano of Hawaii won with her manuscript titled Big Music. A prize of $10,000 is given annually to a novel in progress of a U.S. writer who has not yet been published. Thanks for checking in, guys. That's all I have for today. I'm Cabrini Renicki, and this is Beacon Briefs. Now let's get back to the studio.
Thanks, Cabrini. Adventure Education will join the Susquehanna Warrior Trail Team to clean, maintain, and improve the 12-mile trail to help revitalize this safe and lasting place to experience nature. The cleanup is scheduled for 9 a.m. on Sunday, November 4th. Transportation is available. Sign up online. Volunteers will receive a Wilkes Adventure Education mug as our thank you for lending a hand. Now let's check out the game Nidhogg on this week's Renegade Reviews.
Hello everybody, welcome to Renegade Reviews, Nidhogg. Today we are looking at the 2D side-scrolling fighting game developed by Mark S. and better known as Messoff. Messoff spent 2010 to 2013 developing and fine-tuning this game. He wanted to create the perfect multiplayer fighting experience, but did he succeed? Well, not really. But did he create a fun game? Sorta. Nidhogg is a very interesting game that focuses on the premise of fencing and beating up your opponents, all in the pursuit of getting eaten by a giant worm. And while this may be fun for a little while, as we're gonna see, this game might not be worth all the bang for the buck. Don't get it twisted. This does not mean Nidhogg is a bad game. It just means that it really isn't much more than a time waster. But who knows? Maybe you can have some fun being eaten by the giant mythological creature known as the Nidhogg. But what is a Nidhogg? Well, in relation to the story, the Nidhogg is the ancient Norse serpent that brings about the end of the world. This serpent is the same serpent that Thor has to fight at the cataclysmic event known as Ragnarok. But guess what? That has absolutely nothing to do with the story at hand. Because Nidhogg, the game, has no story at all. The game is nothing but raw, unadulterated combat. You're gonna be stabbing each other. Ooh, that looked painful. You're gonna be stabbing each other until you make it to the end of the stage. That's it, there's no reason at all. This story is focused 100% on its gameplay, so a story would just get in the way in this sense. Personally, I wish there was a little bit more lore behind why we're fencing to death and try and get eaten by a Nidhogg, but sometimes you just have to let go and realize nothing really matters, so let's just have a death battle to get eaten by a giant worm. Now for the gameplay. Nidhogg has fun, combat-based gameplay that is extremely well balanced. Again, your goal is to move to the opposite side of the screen, but you can stop your opponent from doing this by fencing them to the death. You also can employ physical moves such as breaking their necks, dive kicks, punches, kicks, and the like. This game is entirely focused on its combat, and as such, its combat is extremely well-grounded and balanced. As for the enemy AI, there are times where they can be very easy in the single-player mode, but as you gradually progress through each level, they will become more and more difficult. They learn to adapt to the moves that you employ, so you'll have to change up your strategies because you're not going to be able to just dive kick past every opponent or jump above them, try doing a low kick, and then ending with a choking move. They will adapt to your strategies rather quickly, so you need to be a master of this game to succeed. Going off that, I think that perfectly defines the gameplay of Nidhogg. It is a game that's simple to understand but very difficult to master, and it will take tons of practice to get good to be eaten by the World Eater Serpent. Is this game worth it? Honestly, no. The fencing gameplay is novel at first, but it's nothing you're going to want to spend more than maybe half an hour playing. The lack of a story is also a major detriment to this, because I feel some lore would really improve this game. While there are online and local multiplayer options, online multiplayer is pretty much dead, so you're not going to find anyone there, and local multiplayer you can't squeeze much more than 5 minutes out of. But hey, if you want to get eaten by a Nidhogg, then this might be the game for you.
Thank you to DJ Renegade with that great review. Also, be sure to listen to DJ Renegade on WCLH Radio. It is officially time to start embracing your spooky side with Halloween just around the corner. Every week, I am going to highlight a cool Halloween attraction to visit in the area, like the Ghost of Wilkes-Barre tour, held by the Luzerne County Historical Society. It is a fully guided tour around Wilkes that gives you a look into the city's history and lets you know what buildings have a haunted history. Tickets are $10 and reservations are required. We will be right back with more Wilkes Now. Don't go anywhere.
Take the pledge to go and get screened for the cancers that might affect you.
So stand up, cancer, and take the pledge at GetScreenedNow.org.
It only takes a minute to take care of yourself,
And nothing rhymes with org. Nope, nothing rhymes with org. Who wrote this?
12% of the world's population are without clean drinking water. And yet 1 trillion gallons of water a year are wasted in the United States. We take turning on the tap for granted. Others do not. With 7 billion people in our world today, isn't it time we learned to share? Please turn off your faucet. Because once our water is gone, we're all gone.
Welcome to Sports Now. I'm your host, Kirsten Peters.
And I'm Eric Beiteman. This was an eventful week in fall sports.
On Saturday, Wilkes football battled back and forth against Albright College, ultimately coming out on top in the final seconds of the game with a touchdown by senior wide receiver Jeff Stieber to give the Colonels the 47-43 victory.
With this win, the Colonels ended a 17-year homecoming drought, indicating the level of improvement the program is having under new head coach John Drock's leadership.
In the second quarter of the game, the Colonels lost their early 7-0 lead. They fell behind 14-13 after missing the extra point attempt following sophomore wide receiver Nick Yannick's 66-yard touchdown completion from junior quarterback Jose Tabora.
With 3:39 left in the third quarter, Wilkes made their way to the end zone when fullback Joe Lachinsky caught his first career touchdown.
Rather than going for the extra point, the Colonels tried to get back the extra point that was unsuccessful earlier in the game. However, Wilkes' 2-point conversion attempt was unsuccessful as well, leaving them behind 21-19.
A 56-yard interception return by freshman defensive back Shane Montague, a 28-yard touchdown completion by junior wide receiver Derek Nelson, and an 18-yard touchdown completion by Stieber put Wilkes 3 points behind Albright 43-40 with seconds to go.
With 11 seconds left, Stieber and Tabora connected again in the end zone for a 14-yard touchdown reception to bring the Colonels to victory 47-43.
Tabora threw for 368 yards and a school record 6 touchdowns.
Football will face FDU Florham on Saturday in MAC play.
As for women's soccer, Wilkes notched 2 victories this week, a 1-0 shutout against Keene and a 2-1 MAC Freedom Conference win against DeSales.
Just 2 minutes and 21 seconds into the game, junior forward Allison Pete found the back of the net with an assist from freshman Kyla Lopez.
This goal was Pete's second of the season and proved to be enough to earn goalie Sam Sessery her second consecutive shutout.
Against DeSales, senior forward Nicolette Towlin put the Colonels on the board with 18 minutes remaining in the first half. However, 6 minutes and 47 seconds into the second half, the Bulldogs tied up the score at 1.
At the 77-minute and 11-second mark, junior defender Jessica Egan took a free kick from freshman midfielder Emily Beitelsbach from 20 yards out to head home for the eventual game-winning goal. This feat allowed Egan to be named MAC Freedom Offensive Player of the Week.
As for men's soccer, they found themselves to be victorious over Lancaster Bible College when junior midfielder Kyle Bentz headed home a corner kick from senior midfielder Camry Huff just 4 minutes into the first overtime, giving them the 1-0 victory.
On Saturday night, Wilkes fell 3-1 to DeSales in conference play, with Huff scoring the Colonels' lone goal of the day.
In other news, both of the soccer teams earned the United Soccer Coaches Team Academic Award for posting GPAs of 3.0 or higher for last season. The women finished with a 3.33 GPA and the men finished with a 3.25 GPA.
Both of the teams will return to conference action against crosstown rivals King's College. The men will face off against King's tonight at 7 p.m. on the Monarchs' home turf, whereas the women will wait until tomorrow night to compete.
In other news, men's golf finished off its fall season by dropping a 329-347 decision to King's College on Thursday.
Freshman Andrew Fink led all scorers, carding a 77 on the day, causing him to be selected as the MAC Freedom Golfer of the Week, an honor which Wilkes has not received since 2015.
Seniors Corey Kowich and Nathan Hunter helped to round out Wilkes' efforts, finishing with an 84 and 87 respectively.
As for women's golf, the women finished 6 out of 10 with a combined 431 at the MAC Fall Preview.
Freshman Sarah Sorber finished in the Wilkes top spot for the day as she carded a 95.
The Colonels will close out the fall portion of their schedule by facing off against the University of Scranton on Thursday.
In other news, women's volleyball lost their conference matchup against Eastern, but went on to win their 4 other non-conference matchups for the week.
Junior right side hitter Jamie Minkovich continued to be electric on the court, earning the Division III Women's Volleyball Offensive Player of the Month, awarded for September by the Eastern Conference Athletic Conference.
Minkovich has been standing out this season as she has earned 2 MAC Freedom Player of the Week honors, tied Wendy O'Connor's single match record of 29 kills, and was named the Beacon's Female Athlete of the Week in the past month.
In the NCAA statistical categories, Minkovich sophomore Christy Nagic and junior Sierra Smith are ranked among the top 50, demonstrating how the Colonels' 16-8 season is going so far.
Wilkes is set to take on Kings at home tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in conference play.
In field hockey news, the Colonels did not have their best showing as they went 0 for 3 on the week, falling to Elizabethtown, FDU Florham, and Arcadia.
Against Elizabethtown, freshman midfielder/defender Lauren Shiplett scored the lone goal, earning her the Field Hockey Rookie of the Month award as announced by the ECAC.
In overtime action against FDU, the Colonels were unable to break the scoreless tie and left the Knights with their victory.
In Wilkes' 5-3 loss against Arcadia, sophomore Allie Dunn scored twice and sophomore Zoe Stepanski scored once. However, that was not enough to bring the Colonels to victory this week.
Wilkes returns to McFree to play when they travel to Delaware Valley on Friday.
And finally, in fall sports news, men's cross country placed 15th out of 26 teams in the DeSales Invitational, with sophomore Noah Molina being the top Wilkes finisher at 28 minutes and 35.6 seconds.
On the women's side, the Colonels are set their season best time in the 6K race, placing 15th out of 27 teams, with sophomore Autumn Pedron leading the Wilkes with her best time of 26 minutes and 21.8 seconds.
Both teams will travel to New Jersey this weekend for their interregional border battle.
As far as the Beacon Athlete of the Weeks, it's freshman kicker David Kuderoff on the men's side and junior forward Allie Pete on the women's.
Be sure to grab a copy of the Beacon around campus. That's all we have today for Sports Now. I'm Kirsten Peters.
And I'm Eric Bideman. We'll see you after this public service announcement.
Mother Earth. A gift under our care. Let's not go back. Nurture nature. Nourish the soil and your soul. Let's mend our planet together. Make Mother Earth smile.
It's that time of year again. Showcase your culinary chops or share a favorite family recipe, all for a great cause. We're looking for Wilkes faculty, staff, and student chefs to showcase their favorite potluck dishes for the 26th Annual Taste of Wilkes at noon on November 6th in the Henry Student Center Ballroom. Win a chance to be named top chef with your name memorialized on the Taste of Wilkes plaque. This year we will also have small prizes for second and third place winners. To participate, sign up online before Tuesday, October 30th. Now let's see what's going on in the scientific community with your host, Neil, and his segment, Scientifically Speaking.
Hello everyone, my name is Neil, and welcome to Scientifically Speaking, a show where a variety of science topics will be discussed. You can find topics ranging from biology to psychology and even more. All that I ask for you to do is to come into the episodes with an open mind. With all that being said, let's get started. We all have a little 8-pound computer in all of us, known as the brain. The brain is probably one of humanity's greatest tools. Your brain literally controls nearly everything you do. It produces so much energy, it can power a 25-watt light bulb. But what if humans had 2 of these supercomputers? Well, according to who you ask, that might be something not entirely fictitious. If we could watch cells grow, morph, and split again over and over again on the backs of our own wrists, or the billions of foreign cells living in and among our own, forming what scientists are beginning to call our second brain. As researchers turn their microscopes to these hidden environments, they have discovered something remarkable. There's an entire ecosystem of bacteria and a vast neural network operating in our guts. This ecosystem is our second brain and comprises some 100 million neurons, more than your spinal cord, although that is about only 1/6 as many as there are in a cat's brain. This is not a thinking brain, so unlike our brain, it does not reason, write poetry, solve math problems, but mounting evidence suggests that your gut strongly influences your mood. It's not just that our stomach aches can sour our days. It's more than that. The enteric nervous system is a mesh-like network of neurons that lines the entire digestive tract. It causes the sensation of your nervous butterflies or a pit in your stomach that are innate parts of our psychological stress responses. Up to 90% of the cells involved in these responses carry information to the brain's somatosensory cortex rather than receiving messages from it, making your gut as influential to your mood as your head is, maybe even more. Even crazier is that our second brain is actually only half of us. Inside the digestive system, the enteric nervous system mainly communicates with bacteria. These are completely separate creatures that make up their own little world. And there are just as many of them inside of us as our own human cells. But don't panic. This isn't like these cells are trying to take over or anything. Our gut bacteria have evolved with us since birth. They help digest our food and fight off unfriendly outsiders like viruses and mold. To keep us healthy, they need to be healthy and plentiful as well. For instance, they act as symbionts. They get vitamin K from us. When they're not, we feel it. This group of bacteria communicates with important neurotransmitters embedded throughout our enteric nervous system to send messages that influence the way we feel. This could herald good news for those who suffer from anxiety or depression. Studies indicate that those with healthy and diverse gut microbes are less likely to suffer from either malady, and many of us who grew up in too clean environments, so frequently taking antibiotics and eating junk food, may have decidedly unhealthy microbiomes. So changing one's diet could well benefit far more than your waistline. How exactly these gut-healthy foods help manage depression is not yet totally clear. The science on the gut-brain connection is still young, especially as it relates to our mood. But studies continue to find promising correlations. There is evidence that a healthy gut can curb inflammation and cortisol levels, lower your reactions to stress, and even neuroticism and social anxiety. Many of these studies were conducted on mice, not humans, but there's little risk to conducting your own human test at home. Incorporate more healthy foods into your diet like yogurt, sauerkraut, and dark chocolate. See how you feel after. Your gut is, after all, as unique as you are. But these emerging insights about our gut-brain connection make us reframe the way we think about and treat our bodies and minds. If a cup full of yogurt for breakfast can make the workplace more bearable, then it's time to go grocery shopping. Thank you all so much for watching this episode. I'm Neil, and I'll see you in the next one.
That's all the time we have for today. Just a reminder, you can watch us live every Tuesday on Service Electric Channel 97 at 12 noon. Also, check out our YouTube channel for episodes of the show.
And in case you missed it, our broadcast re-airs every weeknight at 7:30 p.m. I thank you very much for watching, and from all of us here at Wilkes Now, have a great week.